In El Salvador, a country long plagued by the violence of organized crime and gang warfare, the government has taken an unprecedented step in its fight against crime: the construction of a massive, state-of-the-art prison designed to contain thousands of the country's most dangerous individuals. This facility, referred to as the Mega Prison or Terrorism Confinement Center (CCOT), offers a stark glimpse into President Bukele's hardline approach to combating the country's notorious gang violence. Located in a remote region, this sprawling complex has captured global attention, both for its scale and the political message it conveys. It reflects El Salvador's shift toward drastic measures and raises questions about human rights, rehabilitation, and the long-term impact on society. Background: the crisis of gangs and crime in El Salvador. El Salvador has struggled for decades with gang violence, which has seeped into nearly every aspect of daily life. In particular, two gangs, MS-13 and Barrio 18, have established extensive networks and engaged in turf wars, leaving countless casualties in their wake. Ordinary Salvadorans have lived under constant fear, facing extortion, kidnappings, and violent encounters. These gangs, often operating as quasi-governments, exercise control over neighborhoods, demanding protection money and enforcing strict curfews and rules on residents. By 2022, El Salvador's homicide rate, though lower than its peak in prior years, still ranked among the highest in the world. President Bukele, who came to power promising to restore peace, has pursued an aggressive strategy. His state of exception granted sweeping powers to security forces, allowing for mass arrests without warrants, bypassing traditional due process rights. Critics of this policy argue it skirts constitutional boundaries, but for Bukele it's a necessary move to reclaim El Salvador from gang rule. As part of his initiative, the mega prison represents both a physical and symbolic assault on gang power. The facility, an imposing fortress. El Salvador's mega prison is an architectural and logistical marvel. Located in Tecoluca, a remote area south of the capital San Salvador, the prison covers over 410 acres. It was built with security as the primary concern. The perimeter is fortified by massive concrete walls, razor wire, and watchtowers equipped with motion sensors and surveillance cameras. Guarding the complex are heavily armed security personnel from both the military and police, forming a barrier that makes escape nearly impossible. The prison was designed to house a staggering 40,000 inmates, the largest of its kind in Latin America. Inside, prisoners are segregated according to gang affiliation, preventing any alliance or collaboration among rival factions. Each wing operates independently, ensuring that movements and communications are restricted. Detainees are confined to their cells for nearly 24 hours a day, with minimal access to recreational or educational activities, reflecting the government's priority on containment over rehabilitation. Life inside a regimented existence. In El Salvador's mega prison, life is stripped down to the essentials. The cells, constructed of concrete and steel, offer little in the way of comfort, each containing rows of stacked bunk beds with no cushions or blankets. There are no windows and minimal natural light filters into the space. For the inmates, the day follows a rigid schedule, and the prison's goal is to break down the collective power that gang members wielded outside. Each prisoner is stripped of their gang insignia upon arrival, both physically and symbolically. The government has mandated a strict uniform code, with prisoners clad in plain white uniforms. Any form of communication outside the complex is prohibited, ensuring that no directives or messages leave the walls of the prison. This isolation is intended to disrupt the operational network of the gangs, which often continued to influence the outside world even from behind bars. But basic amenities are limited. Meals consist of simple, often unvaried rations, and inmates have no privacy in their living quarters. Bathroom facilities are communal, and each cell is equipped only with the bare essentials. Recreational opportunities, such as time in a courtyard or library access, are severely limited or non-existent, as the prison prioritizes confinement over rehabilitative measures. Security measures a fortress designed to prevent escape. The security at the mega prison is comprehensive and strict. Every aspect of the facility has been constructed with the intention of containing individuals with a high escape risk. The complex is divided into numerous zones, each with controlled access points, heavily surveilled with facial recognition and biometric technology. Guards follow strict protocols, rotating regularly to prevent any potential for familiarity with inmates that could lead to collusion. The high security areas are separated by multiple layers of barriers, including steel doors and electronic gates. Surveillance cameras operate around the clock, providing live footage to control rooms staffed by guards who monitor for any suspicious activity. To further eliminate escape possibilities, guard teams include snipers posted in towers around the complex, trained to react at the first sign of disorder or attempted escape. In addition to the visible security, prison officials have implemented psychological measures aimed at eroding the gang mentality. But frequent cell checks, unpredictable schedule shifts, and random security sweeps aim to maintain an atmosphere of control and unpredictability, reinforcing the authority of the guards and diminishing the control inmates may have felt on the outside. Reactions to the mega prison divided opinions. The opening of the mega prison has generated intense debate. For some, it is seen as a breakthrough in the fight against gang violence. By isolating gang leaders, cutting off their influence, and enforcing stringent control, supporters argue that the government is effectively neutralizing the cartel and gang threat. Opponents point to the drop in homicides and violent crime in regions where gang influence once flourished, asserting that the prison is achieving its intended effect of deterring crime. However, the prison has also sparked criticism from human rights organizations and legal experts. Critics argue that the facility violates basic human rights standards, emphasizing the lack of rehabilitation programs and the strict isolation of inmates. The inhumane conditions, they argue, may exacerbate the cycle of violence rather than curbing it. International observers have voiced concern that the prison reflects a shift towards authoritarianism, where security trumps civil liberties. Inside the country, opinions remain mixed. While many Salvadorans support President Bukele's crackdown, viewing it as long overdue, some fear that the lack of due process could lead to wrongful incarcerations and the perpetuation of violence in a different form. Families of detainees have also protested, expressing concerns about the lack of information on their loved ones and denouncing the prison as a means of repression rather than justice. The broader impact what this means for El Salvador. The mega prison is a cornerstone of Bukele's larger strategy, which aims to dismantle the power of gangs by physically isolating their leadership and eliminating their influence over neighborhoods and communities. Bukele has positioned himself as a leader willing to make tough decisions, arguing that his approach will ultimately restore stability to the country. For El Salvador, this prison is both a testament to the government's determination to address crime and a reflection of the desperation for a solution that can curb decades of unchecked gang influence. However, questions remain about the long-term effects of this strategy. Mass incarceration, without a path toward rehabilitation, could lead to an endless cycle of imprisonment without addressing the root causes of gang membership. Many incarcerated gang members come from impoverished backgrounds where economic hardship, lack of education, and limited job opportunities make gang life an attractive option. Without tackling these underlying issues, critics worry that the mega prison could become a revolving door, perpetuating a cycle of crime rather than solving it. A look ahead: El Salvador's gamble on security. El Salvador's mega prison represents a bold experiment in the realm of criminal justice and counter-gang measures. For Bukele's government, the facility is a physical embodiment of its commitment to fight gang violence head-on, sparing no expense or measure in its pursuit of security. Yet, as the prison becomes operational, the long-term success of this initiative remains to be seen. Will this facility genuinely break the hold gangs have over the nation, or will it become a symbol of El Salvador's struggle with human rights and justice? If the mega prison succeeds, it could serve as a model for other countries dealing with high levels of gang violence and organized crime. However, the facility's success will be measured not only by the number of inmates it holds, but by the overall impact on El Salvador's safety and stability. For now, El Salvador stands at a crossroads, with the mega prison offering both a glimpse into a potentially more secure future and a warning of the risks that come with extreme measures.